Every morning, you need to mind hack and murder hack your brand.
Exponential growth is exponential.
Look at your calendar and burn it. What is your personal winning resume?
The number one thing that they don't teach in school is to make money. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur.
Produce.
I am literally a god.
Spartans!
Business.
Money hacks.
Hi everyone, welcome to Business Money Hacks. My name is Dustin Taylor Hahn.
And I am Bridge Stewart.
Today we actually have our first advertisement.
We do.
I'm very excited to announce that we're advertised by, I have it here, Sleep Apnea. It just says Sleep Apnea, and then it just has a TM symbol. That's all it says here, Sleep Apnea.
It seems like a great product. Dustin and I were actually introduced to this product about 3 hours ago.
A man came to the front gates.
He was wearing a trench coat.
And he had big, round, red eyes.
Red eyes and rubbery skin and frightening demeanor.
The man was huge. He was about 8 feet tall. He was huge, but his neck was really thin.
The quintessential CEO in my mind. When I think of a CEO, I just picture that man. And so when he showed up and started ranting about this new app that he's developed called Sleep Apnea, I was sold immediately.
And then he handed you a duffel bag filled with Mexican pesos.
That's how I conduct most of my business transactions. And this brings us into our topic. The concept of return on investment, ROI. Basically, it boils down to you got to spend money to make money. For me, it's about personality. It's not about product. For example, today, when we encountered that man, I knew that we were going to have a return on investment from this trench-coated, rubber-skinned man with a bag of pesos.
I do want to say that man, he's still lurking.
Yeah, he didn't leave,
He's been lurking on the beaches of the island. You can see right here, the camera's looking right at him.
Wow.
He's just huddling up in the corner next to a big stone.
That's interesting. It looks like some sort of Ingmar Bergman movie or something. It's very stark, very frightening seeing that man. And that makes a great CEO. He seems like a great, powerful man.
I do have an announcement to make. I have to let you know I met someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very good news.
And we're getting married.
Well, this is huge news. Mm-hmm. Congratulations so much. Who is this extremely lucky woman?
Well, she's part woman and part mole. She doesn't speak yet. I'm currently teaching her how to vocalize. She's just a wonder to behold, and her name is Subject 23, and we're getting married, and I would love for you to be my best man.
Did you say she was a part mole? Is that what you said?
Yes.
So you created this mole woman to be your wife.
To be my lawfully wedded wife.
That sounds like an abomination.
Well, she has many assets that I appreciate. One is that she's completely blind.
You said she can't speak.
She can't speak, no.
And she's blind.
Yeah. She's like a Helen Keller if Helen Keller was a mole.
Well, Dustin, this seems like some sort of nightmarish fly scenario, but, I guess to each their own.
I could go into the specifics of the science of how she was created.
I would rather not.
In the room today, we have Claude Stones.
Greetings to you both, gentlemen. First of all, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you so much. I'm in love.
Yeah. I just want to lead off, actually, by giving you a quick executive tip. I want to teach you the executive handshake. Are you ready? So we're going to grip our hands as tightly as we can. We're now gripping palms. And now what we do is we look into each other's eyes 5 seconds without speaking. Impressive.
You see that? And did you see, I talked about this last episode, I added a smile to it. That's usually my move, is I like to smile with a big grin.
You know, he sharpens his teeth. If you notice, his
I
front teeth are all sharpened.
I
than the
actually
teeth.
did. It's
You notice my shark teeth.
yes. The main thing is that I can't tell what you're thinking when you do that. You're either happy to see me or very happy to see me.
That's fantastic.
And I don't know for what reason.
good.
Gentlemen, thank you again for having me.
Yeah, thanks for flying all the way out here. We've only met a few times, but I met you at one of the Marriotts down in North Carolina.
The North Carolina Marriott. Honestly,
There's only one.
my favorite place to get a drink sometimes. Sometimes I'll go out of my way just to go to North Carolina. That hotel bar is bar none.
It's a staple of the South, a hub, if you will.
Your appearance has definitely changed. And when we first met, my appearance was different as well, actually.
That's right. He had rainbow hair.
Yeah. This is before I got into what I do currently, which is I am the intellectual officer for executive interaction events. I'm the EIEIO.
Well, that's a lot of words in one sentence. And
It's almost like yoy. Yoy.
Yeah, all right. Wah.
yeah.
You know.
I like vowels. I like vowels a lot. Claude, can you give us just a rundown on exactly what it is you do?
I am responsible for creating great and engaging executive experiences. Literally setting up these events, mixers, pitch meetings, in which executives can come together and interact with one another. There's a lot of personality from executive to executive. It's like wrangling electric cats. It's tough. So you can actually visit the website executiveinteractionevents.nimbus. We have multiple events planned. We have what we call a simultaneous skyscraper event coming up soon, in which all the executive meetings will be suspended off the top of major skyscrapers all across the country. So there's no better place to become visible than there.
So, Mr. Stone.
Stones, sorry.
So, Mr. Stone. So,
It's
Mr.
plural.
Wait, how many stones were in your family?
In my family Stones, we had and in the Stones from my side, we had four stones, and I'm the only Stones currently, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
going through a divorce in which I'm representing myself. I insisted in our prenuptial agreement that our children always retain my last name.
Very.
So
Was that the only thing in your prenup?
the only other thing was the ice cream machine, and I take that very seriously. So
Sounds like some cold stone for the Stones.
So Claude.
Claude.
I should know. I've known you for years. So Clyde, what would you say in IOAIO? What do you do besides just connecting people together?
Really what it comes to is mainly the invisible hand of an event
like
planner.
that.
Somebody who you know their presence and you can feel their presence, but you don't see their presence. And I actually extend the invisible hand to my brain. I also have an invisible brain. So if people ask, what do you do? Nothing. I do absolutely nothing. We have roundtables sometimes at these events. We had a meetup in the Arctic Circle once. Very cold outside. This is when an executive is put to what we call the survival method. So their pitches and what they talk about become very, very critical because they are all about to freeze to death.
Hypothermia is a powerful motivator.
Exactly. That's why I need to maintain my invisibility. I was actually inside of a building observing the pitch meetings that were happening. And I was kept at an optimal temperature because I was wearing a Prada jacket.
That's a very good way to go about this. These CEOs, these titans of industry, very intense personalities, wrangling electric cats, if you will. You got to cool them down. But this invisible hand that you're talking about, which I love invisible things, the fact that you're kind of stepping back and allowing them to tear each other apart, I think is a brilliant move.
The other advantage to being the invisible hand, the invisible mind, the invisible egg, everything that they say in these meetings is recorded. We technically own the spoken word and their idea. So it's a really great database to have.
And
like
you get
the-
to keep those ideas.
Exactly. But you have to pay to get into these meetings because, let's be honest, executives, they're always looking for something for free. But we're not a charity case. This foie gras is not going to eat itself, if you catch my meaning.
Foie gras is French
Yes. For fattened duck part. And have you imbibed foie gras?
I ate it strictly for about 3 years. No fruits, no vegetables, just the gras.
How did you take to it?
I got sick. So, not well.
It's good to know, actually. I was considering making the diet change myself.
So how does one make a foie gras?
The bird is force-fed a combination of millet grains. So there's usually a funnel shoved down their throat.
I have a few ducks in a row outside the door. Can I grab one, and can you show me how to make a foie gras? I mean, I assume that you can do this in front of us.
If I wouldn't be an executive interaction events intellectual officer if I couldn't.
All right, well, let me grab one right here.
Oh,
All right, I got a live one. I got a live one. I got a live one.
All right, give it over here. Okay.
Duck's really
Grain.
strong over there.
Okay, let me just... Ooh. There you go. Okay, now I'm just going to grab some grain that I have in my back pocket, as I always do. Just gonna...
To me, this almost seems a bit inhumane.
Oh, no, the ducks love it. Yeah, there we go. It should have woken up by now. Hold on. Ah, there we are.
Oh, thanks.
Here you go.
So you just cook it up, and that's the
Oh,
foie.
no. You repeat that several times a day for months. I can teach you how to make some of that for the wedding party.
Like that. Bridge, are you all foie gras out, or would you mind
I
slurping
could
some...
make the exception for this this event that you're having.
Speaking of which, if you wish to turn your wedding into an executive interaction event, I
sounds like
have
a great
a
idea.
giant roster of the highest names that I could get you connected with.
Well, I think that's a ingenious idea that you're proposing. Just getting a bunch of executives together from all over the world to pitch to each other in front of this abominable mole marriage that's happening. That sounds like an incredible way for ideas to spread in, going back to a return on investment for this wedding. At least we can get something positive out of
Maybe
it.
you and Bridge could plan my wedding and make it a wonderful... Because she doesn't have any parents. She's been crying for a while, as much as a crying half woman, half mole can cry.
I think my pitch for your wedding, Dustin, would be we want to recreate the feeling that your wife has constantly in
Fear
her life.
and stress.
Fear, stress, and love. So the way I would inspire stress, we only have 1 hour to do the wedding, the dinner, the speeches, and all the dancing.
She's a lovely dancer. She rolls up into a ball, and I kind of push her down the hallway. And
It's a beautiful image.
Yeah.
The other thing is fear. And with that, we will do it entirely in darkness. We will pick probably,
well, that's
I would
where
say...
she reigns supreme, though. I mean,
But here's where we inspire the love. We will also keep her in a cage because nothing says love like entrapping somebody to be next to you or near you without touching you. So she will actually be in a cage suspended above the proceedings. So she'll be able to enjoy it from a safe distance and away from where she could directly interact with others.
Bridge, do you think you could facilitate this?
I mean, I definitely bring the cage. I feel like that cage should be there 24/7 if you wanted my opinion about this. But yeah, sure, I'll help facilitate this.
And beneath her, as she's swinging from this cage, dozens of the top executives of America will be bickering with each other over how to squeeze more money out of the American public.
Well, that sounds like that's the love. Yeah, just these titans of industry yelling at each other. That says love to me.
A lot of people say that, the wedding is for the wife, and I almost feel like it seems like my event over my half mole, half human
It's about you.
woman.
The best part is you don't even have to hire a photographer because she won't be able to appreciate it.
They say it's for the bride. I always thought the groom should spice it up more. Maybe you can steal the show a little bit from this horrifying mole woman that you've created, because I don't want any attention towards that thing.
I was going to say, if you wanted to name her I would allow it.
Now, Bridge,
'Cause-
as your official counselor, because we've made eye contact, I would advise that you should probably give her a name, as that gives you technically intellectual property rights over his wife.
Whoever comes up with the name.
Whoever comes up with the name first owns that IP.
How about Mole Woman?
Doris.
Oh, that's
Who
her
went
name.
first?
I think Bridge might have edged you out.
So
Your wife's name is Mole Woman.
and this is official now.
I'm here, so yes.
I think it's best, just in the grander scheme of
That it's
things, when you're going to need to cut this off, to refer to this thing as the Mole Woman, as opposed to some sort of name. It's just going to make it that much harder in the future.
How many stones can you fit into a duckling's mouth?
My top score has been 16.
Wow.
To witness a duck engorged with a belly full of granite is
You look like you're hungry. Your mouth is watering.
I'm honestly salivating at the idea of having some foie gras, stone gras, and very, very cold ice cream
Just mixed together.
mixed together into a type of sustaining sluice that I can imbibe.
That's beautiful. You could even pour some into a trough for the Mole Woman.
We could all have some sluice. Mole Woman wouldn't have any sisters, would she? I'm kind of on the market.
I've got 22 more.
You have 22 of them, you got to marry them off.
I plan on marrying them off to Somalian pirates next time they come ashore.
Well, Stones, I mean, it sounds like you're really desperate here if you're asking for a Mole Woman bride.
It's just the more I think about it, I mean, I've never considered copulating with a half woman, half animal creature, but
Well, the others aren't completely half and half. I didn't get to the right one until 23.
You're saying some are more mole
Some
than
are more
woman.
mole than woman. Most are more mole than woman. It's hard to get the right parts.
I understand. I'll obviously have to investigate further my level of,
Subject 1 is just a mole.
well, probably not that one.
Okay.
What about 7?
7, I started to get the right skin.
I honestly think you should put all of them down. That's just my 2 cents.
What would you do with the remains of the subject mole women?
Incinerate as quickly as possible. I have a huge issue with
She's
this.
a big fan of yours. She likes you. She's read all of your books. She watched your books on tape, and she's read your tapes on books.
Well, I mean, I can say she has good taste, but
I believe with the other subjects, or at least one of them, or maybe multiple, I don't, but the tall rubber-faced gentleman that is outside on your beachfront, certainly he could take some of these mole women as concubines or a harem, perhaps.
this man wouldn't want these mole women. This guy is a professional. He is probably one of the greatest CEOs of our generation. He would want nothing to do with a mole woman. This guy's looking to make money. Claude, I would like to know, how have you had to deal with executives who are just trying to control the situation when you invisibly are supposed to be in control?
The main issue when we come up upon what we call aggressive executives, people that they ask too many questions, mainly of me, questions like, what are we getting out of this? Why does this cost so much? Why is it in the Arctic Circle? We send out first highly trained special forces team to what we call negotiate. We make sure that they show strength. They are adorned in silver armor and are usually packing some type of gold-encrusted Desert Eagle. And just the mere sight of these frightening, highly dangerous men in silver and gold usually makes the aggressive executive become what we call a stable executive. There is a third state that executives can be in, which is dismissed.
I like that. Instead of using like manipulation or playing mind games, you just point a gun at the guy. That
a
seems...
gold-encrusted gun, yes.
You said they're eagles?
Desert Eagle.
They're desert eagles in the Arctic Circle. How do they survive?
That's a pistol.
It's
I'm
a
sorry?
gun. It's a gun. They have guns.
It's a gunman?
silver
Golden
men
eagles.
with silver men with
Oh, it's a man with a guns holding eagles. Does he throw the eagles
silver
at-
men with golden guns. The guns themselves do not have the power of flight.
Oh, we got to work on that.
Silver men with golden guns controlled by stones. That's a powerful image.
A golden eagle with a gun. I assume that they're on skis.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on the location. Do you gentlemen remember the Batman franchise? How the toy lines would have Arctic Strike Batman, Jungle Strike Batman, Urban Action Batman. We think of our private executive interaction event force, or the EIEIF. They are like that. We can outfit them, equip them, strip them of their humanity, and then create anything that we need to out of these individuals.
That's incredible. I mean, these brainless killing machines that you have at your beck and call, so that you can have them come out of the snow. They're all... They're the Arctic Blast strike team. But also, if, say, you had your meeting in the middle of the jungle, they would be covered in shrubs and emerge from the darkness.
And exposed to water, the patterns on their gear would change.
Would you, for example, I mean, at this wedding fiasco that's happening, would you have maybe this strike team there?
I would love security at the wedding. I
would love the strike team to be there.
Well, I think the strike team would love to be there, and they will also be equipped in gear that we've only used once before, and that's wedding combat.
For this strike team to say, like, let's just hypothetically say the mole woman gets out of hand. What would it take for that mole woman to be dismissed?
I would have to gauge first... Dustin, from your scientific perspective, how strong do you think physically she is?
She could lift an orange above her head.
So you would describe her as not capable in terms of strength?
Yeah. She's about 3 feet tall, and...
I don't know. For me, that seems pretty strong. And I would be intimidated by that to the point of demanding that the strike team make some sort of move.
So if we wanted to quickly dispatch her, of course, if it was at point blank range, the wedding combat force would have no problem.
So there are eagles. There's going to be eagles swarming my wedding? Because she's definitely afraid of eagles.
I want to take it back just a couple steps. There are no eagles that are part of our EIEIF.
Yeah, it's a gun. A desert eagle
It's an actual
is a pistol.
gun.
Is that what you've been pointing at me for the last 20 minutes?
No, that is my artificial erection.
Oh,
And
that's
so
a power move.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying myself.
That's great.
I hope that you'll consider utilizing our executive interaction event services for your wedding ceremony. We can't complete the transaction here, but I will send a follow-up email.
I don't have email.
You don't have email.
Oh.
No, I deleted my email account and I threw my computer into the sea.
What is the preferred method that people get in touch with you?
Pigeon.
Fair enough. I'll have
That's how
it.
I'll be sending my wedding invites.
How many guests are you expecting?
I'm expecting about 22, most of which will be Mole Woman's sisters.
Oh, it's going to be a family affair.
Well, this has been Business Money Hacks. I hope you learned a lot about business.
The whole fucking thing talking about a fucking mole wedding.